stumble till I'm ready.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Profonde Musique, the multimedia post this week. And I'm very proud and excited to welcome in my guest. Everybody knows if they follow me on Instagram or Facebook or X or wherever the hell that I support and I have enjoyed the career of my niece, Sydney Leigh. And she joins me today because this is a big week in her career, and I'm really happy that she's given me a few minutes. So, welcome, Sid.
Thanks. I'm glad to be here.
Good, good. I'm very glad. We are very close in proximity, but we're doing this on Zoom because, that's the kind of thing we do nowadays. All right, so let's get out of the way right off the bat. All the stuff you got going on this week. We're recording this early in the week, but on the 30th day of May, there's a few things happening. So why don't you just tell
hmm
everybody what those are?
So, May 30th, the big day, I will be releasing my EP onto Bandcamp for anyone to purchase. And I'm also releasing the first single, Sleep It Off, on streaming platforms. We actually also have a CD made, and should I show it right now?
Yeah, please.
Okay. So the CDs are going to be available as well for purchase at any gigs, pretty much. This is it. It's beautiful blue color. We got 5 songs on here. Um, 4 songs produced plus a demo on there. And then we have some pictures and a thank you note in there. I just want to shout out my sister because she did the little drawing on here of me for the cover. And then Roberto Tatis, who did the graphic design for this and all the inside stuff. So yeah, I'm really excited. It's
Congratulations.
happening. It's
And
happening.
also, t-shirts, got my Sydney Lee
That too. That too.
first
Also, I want to
first
show the
one.
actual. Look at the actual CD. Isn't it cool?
That's very cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
And Sid does sign those, which is kind of neat. We debated
I
again.
do sign those.
Yes. Well, everybody knows mea culpa. I work with Sid, you know, at gigs, and we'll talk a little bit more about the recording of this and everything like that. But genuinely, she has really grown as a songwriter and as someone who understands now the studio and what it's like to perform. She's getting her 10,000 hours in, and it was cool to get all these people that obviously her sister Claire, but also a good friend of mine who has designed book covers for me, Roberto Tatis, as you mentioned, and most importantly, our good friend Eric Hutchinson, who has been on a million things with me. I've done podcasts with him. Sid grew up listening to his music and he produced Let Me Stumble. Talk about that
Mhm.
experience of somebody you grew up with his poster on your wall, and next thing you know it, he's not only producing your record, but he's singing with you on it.
I know. Yeah. So Eric Hutchinson, he's like my biggest inspiration. I know all the words to all of his songs, and to have him produce the album was like unreal. I still can't really believe that it happened. Um, but yeah, I worked with Eric to produce it, and went down to Nashville to work in the studio with Elliott Blaufuss, who worked with Eric for years. And then we did the mixing and mastering in New York at Boomtown Studios with Eric, and then the other the other Eric, right?
Edelman,
There's two
yes,
there's two Erics.
yes, yes.
Yeah. Um yeah, this it was unreal. Um I'm really glad that I got to work with him because I feel like it was like a childhood dream come true. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Eric is, as many people again know, follow me, has been a really, really good friend and somebody I've covered since before Sydney was born, or right around that time. And again, she grew up with that music and so many other artists. And the cool thing about it was she had a specific, and this is true, right? Sid, you had a specific idea of how you wanted to do this. And to the credit that everybody worked on it, Elliot and Gabe on drums, and so many different people that worked on this. It's Gabe, right? Who played the drums on this
Yeah,
record?
Gabe. Yeah.
Yeah. They served your vision, which sort of came now. I also want to announce, because this is my own personal thing too, is that I filmed the sessions in Nashville and New York, and I'm putting together a documentary for it, which we'll review this weekend coming up. And so that'll be coming out soon, and I'll put it on my YouTube channel. But talk about that, like what it was like to work with such professionals in Nashville and in New York and your hero, Eric Hutchinson, and still be able to maintain your, because I watched it in real time and it's on film, maintain the integrity of what you want to do with your songs.
It was kind of overwhelming, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I've never done anything like that. I've been in the studio before, but it was just me recording myself with guitar. To have all these other people adding to these songs that I've never played with anyone else. I've contemplated what it would be like, but to be there in the studio and actually see it coming together is a completely different story. So, um, I put a lot of trust in Elliott and Eric and uh to help me like make this vision come true, and a lot of it was like I didn't know what I was looking for until I heard it, and then I was like, oh, that's exactly what it needs, or maybe that's not what I'm seeing for this song. um in general, a lot of the creative choices I really agreed with, so there's really only a couple things that I had to like think about whether I wanted them in or not. And in the studio, like I learned this, so you put down so many things, like you put down all these instruments and all these parts, and you end up cutting away at a lot of that. I know Eric wanted it to be more acoustic and more true to what it would sound like to see me live. And I kind of disagreed with that because I play live all the time. Like if people want to hear my solo stuff, they can come see me. But this was kind of a unique chance to have a produced album with all these cool parts that I'm not gonna hear when I'm playing live. So we found a happy medium between that, like the fully produced and acoustic. And I think it still sounds like me, but with more projection of like a lot of other instruments, mostly played by Elliot. And then we had some program drums by Franco Reed. Like you mentioned before, we had live drums added in because we wanted that live drum flair as well by Gabe Rabin. Um, so yeah, it was like a small group of people, but yeah, Elliot's a genius. So I really value like everything he added on there, and I didn't want to lose any of that.
Yeah, in the world of AI, in the world of auto tune, in the world of all this digital stuff, this is people in a room making music. This is you singing without any auto tune, without any extra stuff. This is people playing without any kind of. Obviously, there's some keyboards on here that represent strings and different things like that. But for the most part, I watched it come together, and there's got bass playing and drumming and singing, and it's your acoustic guitar on everything that gives it sort of like that balance. And it was a great experience. And we should say that just as if people don't know about Sid, so when Sid first asked me how to play chords on a guitar, she was like 10 or 11 years old. And within a year, she had already been started writing music. And I think within a couple of years, maybe 13 or 14, she recorded a CD that her parents, Tom and Shannon, they bankrolled, and she went into a studio and recorded songs, which was amazing. And actually has a CD that I gave to Adam Duritz and Eric Hutchinson, all these different people who were like, wow, there's a seed here. And then when she was 16, 17, she went into the studio again to record some songs. Some of them you could hear on Spotify. And then recorded with my good friend Peter Blazovic a few years ago when she was in college at Stony Brook in Long Island. And so there's been a slow progression. So I would say right now, obviously, the step up was big here, going to Nashville and New York and everything. What was your biggest surprise? What was in your progression of recording when you were like 14, 15? On a record, by the way, that is called Don't Fall, and this one's called Let Me Stumble. That's some growth right there,
Oh.
right? I just
Given
thought of
we're
that one
bringing up
just
Don't
now.
Fall on this,
Yeah. So what was that like, the progression of that over the years?
well, I never really, I mean, that was that was like me in my baby years. Like Don't Fall was all like I feel like I wasn't even fully conscious as a human when I wrote all those songs, and I look back now and I listen to them, I'm like, what was I talking about?
Right.
But then there's also some really like deep nuggets in there. I'm like, why was I so inspirational at that age? Like I think I wrote more positive songs when I was when I was like 12. I don't know what I was on. I was like, but I think now it's more serious, and it's honestly it's almost harder in a way because I think back then ignorance was bliss, and I only knew like 5 chords, and now I know like at least 6 chords. So it's
She's kidding, folks. But go ahead.
um
She knows eight.
I know I know maybe 8.5 chords.
So
But you know what I know is what I don't know. Right now I know what I don't know, and I know I'm so aware of how much music is out there and how much you can do in music, and it's this huge world that's can be overwhelming at times, but it's also really exciting. So back then it was just like me in my own little 5 chord cage, and I didn't really there was this disconnect between like, there's musicians like they're like doing it for real. Like I'm just like a girl, like I'm just here like playing songs. And now I'm actually playing live shows in front of people and seeing the reception of what people think of my songs, and it's always like it's just a lot going on in my head. Like what could this mean? I really want to do this for real, but is it possible? So the whole concept of this album is graduating college and feeling like simultaneously that I'm so young and like I have my whole life ahead of me, but also like this is for real now. It's crunch time. Like if I want to do something with music, like this is when it happens, and it's a possibility, it's a risk, but it's it's happening right now. Like that's the big change. It's like for so long it was just this this dream in my head that wasn't happening, and if it was happening it was very very far in the future. And now I'm 2 feet in it, and it's
right.
still unbelievable sometimes. I don't know if I even answered your question,
You
but
did. That's a
that's
great
something.
summation
Okay.
because it sounds like you're just kind of processing that right now in front of me, which is kind
I'm
of
always,
cool. And
I'm
our
always proud.
audience, yeah, our audience gets to hear that. And it's always tough. And I think that's what songwriters do really well. Writers, you always hope, is that you're able to describe what's happening to you as it's happening. In retrospect, it's which I prefer when I write my books. It's like, okay, let's talk about Prince in the 1980s or something, you know? But when it's happening to you, to be able to explain that, it's difficult. And you do it in song, which is great. Like, in other words, you put all this stuff in songs. So talking about it is not your thing, and you don't do many of these interviews yet, but you did it really well. So yes, you did answer the question. So you also have a music video out that I also helped to direct and put and edit, shot by Jordan Caprelian, our friend who has worked with us in the past when you interviewed me. Thank you very much for the aforementioned Prince book, which you can see on YouTube somewhere. What was that like doing a music video? I'm going to play, if it's okay with you, about 30 seconds of it. It's not going to debut. This comes out on Tuesday. It's not going to debut until 4 days on Saturday, the 30th.
Hey, child, you're young. Hey, you can be so dumb. Hey, try and have some fun. Well, you can still sleep it off. Well, you can still sleep it off. Get up, 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 sleep it off. Get up, 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 sleep it off.
Tell me about the music video because you're such a natural singer and performer acoustically, and you did maintain this authenticity when you recorded. So you're not this type of person that's going to run around and do music videos that are going to be elaborate or whatever. But this was a lot of fun, and I wanted to get your thoughts on it, and share that with my audience, what it was like to do a music video.
Um, yeah, that was super cool. Yeah, I'm not really good at being fake, so it wasn't like acting in this music video. I was straight up like the music video was for Sleep It Off, and the whole point of it is like skipping out on sleep to have fun and just sleeping it off later, sleeping in. And so in order to authentically prepare for this music video, I did get 3 hours of sleep. And I did sleep in my makeup from the night before.
Talk about authenticity.
And so James comes over with the camera crew, and I'm like barely awake. So we just like made my room a mess, which it normally is. So didn't really have to change much. I really liked all the little elements and Easter eggs we added into the music video, which you'll see if you tune in 4 days from now. And I had a lot of fun with it. I felt like I could really express myself creatively, and it was almost a visual representation of what that song is, which I guess is what a music video is supposed to be. So I think it really turned out well, and I'm really grateful to have you and Jordan to be helping out with that. It
Our
was
pleasure. It was
really
fun.
cool.
Yeah.
And I almost forgot. I asked some of my friends to make some videos to put into it, so there's going to be some little clips of other people sleeping it off. You know what I mean? You don't know
Yes.
what I mean, but you will see. It's gonna be
Yes.
cool.
Because great songwriting and you possess that talent is the universal and the personal. I mean, we've all been there, right? Yeah, you may have one too many or stay out 1 hour or 2 hours too late. In fact, you and I just last night, just to get
Oh,
this done, we're playing music. We're jamming on some blues last night at a way too late
yeah.
hour for me, but sure.
It
But
was yeah, it was a little late, but it was fun.
it was. All right. So CD, music video, t-shirts. One more thing. So you're gonna put, if I'm not mistaken, the full album on Bandcamp on the 30th, and people can go there to support. And we also say this is true of anybody who comes on Profonde Musique, whether they're related to me or I work with them or not. Support music, support musicians. It's very important. We all love it. We love going and see the shows. We absolutely love when Sydney plays a bar, she plays covers, a pub, an event. She gets the tips. This is very important all the way across the board. So you're putting the full record on Bandcamp so people can listen to the whole album and of course get it on the CD. I got mine. But you're going to release, tell me how you're going to do this. You're going to release a song every month and then the whole thing, they can get it and they can, buy it there. Just explain that whole situation. I think I'm right, right?
Yeah, you think I would know the plan, right? Because it's my plan. So basically, I'm releasing the first single and the full album on Bandcamp on the 30th. So that means like you'll be able to buy the full album for like a couple bucks. It's just gonna be like $9, I think, on Bandcamp on the 30th if you want the whole thing, or if you just want to support. And then eventually all the singles will be out on streaming because I know that's like easier to listen to it that way. Um, it's gonna be on all streaming services, so Apple Music, Spotify, Deezer, whatever, all of them. And so we're gonna release the singles in at like 2 week increments. So Sleep It Off is gonna be May 30th, and then like 2 weeks later, I don't know. Who knows what's coming next?
Right.
A different one. So
Something.
in like a couple months they'll be all available on streaming. But if you're one of those people that's like I have to have it first, then you can buy it on Bandcamp on
Very,
the
very cool.
30th.
The other thing we should mention is there is a fifth secret track on here of a song that Sydney did that Jordan and I filmed Sydney playing at Washington Square Park at a very early hour in July of last year. It's called The Insomniac. It's sort of an ode, a paean to New York City and yourself growing up and going there and experiencing that as a young musician. The interesting thing about it was, so Sydney and I sent 10 songs to Eric to pick. So he picked these songs. He was like, these are the songs I think I can make great. These are the best ones you have. We were surprised, you can say if you weren't or not, on some of the selections, but he absolutely adored from this session of demos, the Insomniac. And I got to give Sydney a lot of credit. She's a perfectionist on every level, and she drives herself crazy. And there's something quaint, poignant, that Eric heard of this demo where you're not playing it cleanly. And I recorded it in a mono, and I wish I could have separated the guitar and the voice, but I didn't. So there's something really, this is me in my music journalism thing. You don't have to agree with this, but there's something very, again, authentic about a beautifully produced record. Like you said, with incredible musicians from Nashville and New York City, and Eric Hutchinson, who's a master. But yet, last song, this little extra track, is just you with a guitar in that apartment that you're sitting in right now. And I think, and it was recorded in mono because we recorded these just to send to Eric so he can pick a song. And he was like, this is what needs to be on the record. So talk about that experience of just letting that go and agreeing with this crazy idea.
Well, I was a little against it at first because there's truly like I said I only know like 9 chords, right? And I just made it. There was like one chord that I messed up in the song, and it's just so obvious. Maybe to me, maybe not to other people, but there's truly like blatant errors in that demo. And so I was like, well, we're not putting that on the record. That's crazy. But then after a while, like I kind of got worn down by it. I was like, well, it's actually kind of encapsulates the whole theme of the record, and so this is a test right now. It's like, am I willing to like actually stand on what I'm talking about in these lyrics, which is like let me fall, let me stumble. Basically just all these songs are themes of letting things be imperfect, and so I think it actually encapsulates it perfectly to put this imperfect demo on, and it does have a certain kind of charm that maybe if I sang the song 10 more times, it would lose that. So I'm glad that we have it on there. And it's also a nod to the the little the humble beginnings of the record, of that that era where we were just recording demos and nothing was there was no roots yet. It was just like, ooh, what songs are we gonna choose? And it's just a dream of what this album could be. And it was at the end when everything was completed where go back to this song and we're like, you know what? I think it deserves a nod to the beginnings, the mistakes made along the way, you know?
Yeah. Even we had to announce, you announced into the microphone for Eric to see the name of the song, and you even forgot to do that, and you kind of chuckle. And so everything about that last recording is completely off the cuff, and neither one of us ever thought it was going to see the light of day. And I think it's to Eric Hutchinson's lasting credit that he always sees those happy mistakes that work, and really do define you. And it's a great way, like I said, and it's an excellent way to end the record. And you said that very well, that it kind of defines you and what went into this project. All right, kid. Well, it's an honor and a privilege, and I just love working with you as an artist, not just as someone who's related to me, but also somebody who is so determined and so focused in, but yet also doesn't care about the commerce of the whole thing. Or you say to me all the time, I just want to play my songs. I just want to play them in front of people. I want to get them recorded if I can and give the most honest statement to them. And I think you've done that with this record, and you continue to do it. You just recorded another new song down in Hackensack this past week. And so you're just going to keep plugging. And I'm so proud of you for doing that. And it's just a pleasure to watch you and have watched you blossom all these years. And I know people who are watching this right now, family, friends, and everybody are so proud. And congratulations on this incredible journey that you're on.
Thank you. Um, I want to thank everyone that's been there to support me, particularly you. Like, you've been a great mentor figure in the past years, actually forever, actually. Um, and all of my family has been super supportive of my crazy dreams, and my friends. They're all thanked on the inside of the album. I never really imagined I would be in this place, but here we are. And thanks for interviewing me about this. And thank you to anyone listening that decides to go check it out. So appreciate you guys. It's been real.
All right, good. Where can people find your stuff, your website, where you're playing, all that stuff?
Okay, yeah. So my website, I'm sure you'll like put it somewhere, but it's www.sydneylee.us. That has my shows, that has some media on there, and also my Instagram, Sydney Lee Music.
Right.
Will find more like up to date stuff. Getting better at updating my website, but
You are. Yes,
it's
yes. And there's some more videos, live videos on the
on
website.
YouTube. Yeah, there's stuff on YouTube as well, which
Yep.
is like it's all like linked in my website, so it's a
Cool.
good place to start.
All right, kid. Love you.
Love you.
All right, everybody. That's it. Profonde Musique. That's Sydney Lee. Check out her new record, Let Me Stumble, which will be out on the 30th on Bandcamp, and then the first single, Sleep It Off, will be that day as well, and the music video. So check all that stuff out. And again, thanks for watching. Peace.
Peace.
Woo, 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 woo.